Is your debt causing you sleepless nights? Knock your debt out with Debt KO. And your debt won't be the only thing keeping you up at night. Debt KO. Free, impartial advice on all your debt.
This is something that comes along every now and then in generation, and it's special.
This is KUGAN CASSIUS for iFull TV in association with MTK Global. Delighted as always to be joined by Mr. Peter Fury. How you doing,
mate? KUGAN. Nearly Christmas. We're nearly here now.
Nearly there. I've just seen the mug that your phone's behind. It's a nice little snowman one.
Yeah, and if you listen quietly, you can hear all I've got these nutcracker things, well, the wife has, and they're all playing all these Christmas things all over the Christmas. So it's good. They're outside.
Absolutely. 4 or 5 days to go. Yeah, Peter, I know you would have obviously watched Canelo's win over CALLUM Smith. People would have read your comments on social media about CALLUM Smith's performance and also Canelo's performance. But what was your take on the fight?
Well, Canelo, this is what happens. Look, when you get up on elite fighters, such like this, let's not forget, I know they're both 30, but Callum's a baby in terms of experience and learning towards Canelo. Yeah, this is what you get. He just showed his class in there, and he had 10 gears and Callum had 1. And that's no detriment to Callum Smith. He showed his mettle in there. He fought his heart out, done the best he could with what he had. There was there can't be any complaints because I don't think he's done himself any harm. He's fought an elite fighter in Canelo. These are the elite, professional since he was 15, 30 years of age and into his 54th fight, tells you all you need to know. And that's why I mentioned about Mayweather, because when Canelo fought Mayweather, he was in a similar kind of position as Callum Smith. So, he was like just putting his shots out, loading a bit, and Mayweather seen it all, didn't he? Preempted it, seen it all. But look, this is what years and years of grinding that wheel does for you. You need to feint more. When you move world elite fighters like that, you've got to, if you want to move to the left, feint to the right, then move to the left. If you want to, and do the opposite. Everything's a game of tricks. And Canelo's got all them tricks. He's got it all in the bag, hasn't he? In abundance. He's perfected his game very well. And full credit to him. But I think Callum will come on. He'll come on from it. I've heard some comments said, but when he fought Mayweather, he was like 23 or something. Well, that's okay. But really, Callum Smith is he's raw, really. He ain't had much experience. Look, he's bowled a lot of people over because he can hit. When you look at the real fights he's had, he fought George Groves, which was a good fight. But there ain't many others he's had fights with. And even when he boxed Ryder, Ryder southpaw, being awkward, tricky customer, he struggled there. So he's got a lot to work on, Callum Smith, on his boxing skills. Because what he's got very, very good basic fundamentals. But when you're stepping up against elite fighters like this, you can see what happens. That power just don't land. People said to me, I put a comment on how I think he should try and win. And I just said, looking for the knockout is not the right way. And it's not, because you're not knocking guys like Canelo out. You can see everything. They got radar vision, but there's always that opportunity. Look, there's always a shot you don't see. And when Callum was putting them together, especially that hook, he caught him just maybe once or twice with it. So he was in with it. He was always in with a chance. That's why I said 60-40 Canelo, because there's always a chance. But that's all you've got going into fights like that. Because unless you've got all them feints, unless you've got all them manoeuvres in the bag, what Canelo's worked on for year in, year out, then you're going to come short against elite fighters.
We know Callum obviously suffered that arm injury in that fight as well. What, in your opinion, could he have done more?
Do you know what? It's all right people saying, done more. I don't think he could do any more because you're fighting. When you're fighting, sorry, it's phone's gone upside down again.
Yeah.
When you're fighting elite fighters like that, you know, and he had a 4 weeks notice. But look, if he'd have had a year's notice, it wouldn't have made any difference because he needs to have them things what I've just mentioned. He needs the feints, he needs the positions, he needs to be able to, you know, up and down. There's a lot to do there. Callum Smith has got a lot to learn there. And when you're up against elite fighters like that, they've got all that. So it was never going to be really any different when you looked at it, because even when he was walking him down, he was still able, you know, that upper body movement, in, out, side to side, you know, riding with the shots was beautiful to see. You know, so Canelo needs maximum respect because for what he's done, because really that was a perfection. That was a perfection job last night by him. So what you've got Callum Smith, who's a worthy world champion, against somebody that's almost perfect in what he does. And that's a tall order. That's why he belongs in that pound for pound bracket. I think he is pound for pound the best in the world at that weight.
Well, we had this conversation the other day about, you know, it's pound for pound, everyone's got their opinion, but I mean, you've got to be, it's difficult to look past Canelo when you kind of look at the resume of Canelo compared to even a Terence Crawford or an Errol Spence or one of these guys, or even obviously before his defeat, Lomachenko. The resume on Canelo is phenomenal.
Yeah, it is. He's done everything. He's fought everybody, and you can only beat who's put in front of you. And he's taking good fights because Smith was a good fight. You know, you can see what he wants. He wants real good fights, Canelo. So he's out to build a real legacy, and he's doing a fantastic job. I know I'm a big fan of him. Always have been. You know, he's a real good fighter, and you know he's got a chin like granite. So I don't know. Look, everybody can be hurt, but the sheer skill set of him is going to take somebody on that skill set to do any good with him.
What does Callum Smith take away from that fight in which he can learn from? What does he take away from that?
He takes a lot from it, Callum. You know, although he's 30, he's a young 30, and he's 6'3", 6'4", so he'll take a lot from it. By no means is it over for him. You know, he's only just beginning. You know, welcome to world boxing. That's all I'll say to him. You know, this is it. You've landed. You know, this is, you know, now. Open your eyes. You know now what you need to do, because everything else has all been a waste of time up until that point. Because now he needs to step through another 8 to 9 gears, and he's got to perfect that. One thing he's learned from it: you're not chinning people. You're not walking up with your hands around your head or whatever, thinking you're going to get in close and release them shots, because it ain't happening. On that world scene against pound for pound fighters, forget it. It's just not going to happen. It's like unpicking a safe. You know, it's like it's some small, minute things. The game of tricks and all of that. That's when it comes into elite level boxing. You know, you can be as good as whatever you want physically, but it's up there. It's all knowledge. But I think he's going to take a great deal from it anyway. And I think he'll come back and he'll have good fights. There's a lot of good fights out there for him as well. Mm-hmm. You know, so I think it's all positive. Like I said, when he took this fight, should he have took it? Yeah, why not? Because now he knows what he needs to do. I keep saying this in other interviews. You know, until you step up properly, you don't know what you need to do you? Mm. You know, I say to my son all the time, yeah, you need to do this, you need to do that. I know he still needs a lot of work, you know, because I can see what needs to be done. You know, there's a lot of work needed. So I sticking the chest out thinking I don't need to do this, need to do that. Still a lot of work to be done, you know. And that's what it is. You always have to keep adjusting and improving. But until you get wet, you don't know what you got to improve on.
Mm. How much problems does Billy Joe Saunders give Canelo?
Well, you got to say, you know, he's a southpaw. He's got a good chin on him himself, you know, and it's all about styles make fights. And he'll be up for that fight, and he'll have a very good training camp for it. But again, it's a tall order for anyone, Canelo. It's a tall order for anyone because ultimately he's got perfect boxing skills. He's got a chin like a piece of granite. He can hit, and he's cutting your ring down. Sorry, KUGAN. So, yeah, so he can hit, and he'll cut the ring down. So he's you've got to favour him above anyone at the moment. But listen, he's only a man. Everybody's beatable, but he's gonna take some. It's going to take something very special to beat him anyway.
Absolutely. How's Hughie, Peter? Is he all right?
Hughie's good. He's over in Dubai. As far as I know, he's enjoying it out there. He's out there with Joe, and that's it. He's having a good, well-earned rest, which he needs because he's worked hard all year.
I suppose you want to get him in as quick as you can, as soon as 2021 creeps in.
Not really. I think if he's staying over there for Christmas or he's back here, he'll come and have Christmas dinner with us. And I've not spoke to him since the fight. I've had a look at it back, and I'll just talk to him what he needs to work on.
No, I just mean you want to get him active. I know he's obviously going to have a little bit of time off over Christmas, but you want him more active in 2021 than he has been. No fault of your own, obviously, or Hughie's, but you'd want him more active next year.
Well, yeah, we spoke to our team, and they even suggested it to me. We'll get Hughie. We need Hughie to have 3 fights next year. Ideally April, middle of the year, and back end of the year. So I'm just looking to see. I know there's so much more in Hughie, and the performance was good, but I know there's so much more to come from him. So I want to see him fulfill his true potential, what he can do. So my job is not finished. There's still plenty of work to do with Hughie yet. He's still a rough diamond. One half's polished, KUGAN. The other half is still rough.
And Savannah, any news on when she could be potentially out in the new year?
Yeah, I think probably same time as Hughie. I think that's what ideally we're looking at. I know Eddie Hearn's got to sort all this out, so I know the team's speaking to Eddie, and hopefully something like that can be arranged. But he's got to ultimately finalise it. But we as a team, we'd like Hughie and Savannah probably to box on the same bill because they're training together, and it makes sense. Yeah. And same with Savannah. We'd like her to keep busy next year.
Of course. Okay, well, Peter, thank you very much for your time this Sunday afternoon / evening. And
when you have Christmas dinner, you're going to have your Christmas hat on and all that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, exactly. Don't let the side down.
No, I'm crackers.
You've got to do your job, KUGAN. Christmas is only once a year, mate.
No, I ain't cooking.
You've got to give the full hit.
No, going all out this year anyway, so yeah.
Yeah.
No. All right, well, listen, if I don't, I will speak to you over then, but obviously this will probably be our last interview before Christmas, so do wish you and your family a Merry Christmas, Peter.
And you, KUGAN, and God bless you and your family, and I wish everybody around the world who listens to this a very good Christmas. And whether they're down or up, down or whatever, just put everything out your mind and just enjoy what you've got while you've got it. Because nothing's promised to us, is it?
What's your lockdown situation where you are? What tier are you in?
I'm in tier 2, I think, where I am. Because I'm in the countryside, so there's only a little small village. So it's not bad for me.
That's all right.
Plus, I've got everything in the house is in its own grounds and stuff, so I don't really need to go anywhere.
Tier 4 over here, Peter. But anyway.
So where are you? Where are you? Yeah.
Essex. So tier 4.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, they've added another tier on, haven't they? It used to be 1, 2, and 3 now. There's another one gone on it.
Yeah.
I reckon with that, I think they've got the vaccines, but I think they're just keeping everybody locked down while they can vaccinate everybody. Because when you look at it, there's 70 million people. There's 70 million people, isn't they? Yeah. So I think that'll probably be it. So they don't want the hospitals overrun. But I think now when the vaccine starts, because I think they said a while back to vaccine everybody is going to take up until March, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say it'd go further than March, but
I don't know. If they got a vaccine, though, they need to get on it and sort it because it's been a bad year, hasn't it, for everything else?
It's not been the best. But anyway, just to end on a brighter note, have a good Christmas, Peter, and
thank you, KUGAN.
Hopefully we'll definitely catch up over after the Christmas break, New Year period.
Yeah, and good speaking to you as well, as always.
Thank you very much. KUGAN CASSIUS here with Peter Fury for IFL TV. Thank you very much.
This is something that comes along every now and then in generation, and it's special.
Is your debt causing you sleepless nights? Knock your debt out with Debt KO. And your debt won't be the only thing keeping you up at night. Debt KO, free impartial advice on all your debt.